Hi guys, hi everyone. Happy Sunday. Let me scroll up and say hi. Let's see who's here. Let's see. Hi Vulcan. Welcome in and good job getting first again. Good job. You're so fast. Hi Jade. And thank you. Welcome back. Hi Looney. Hi Brando. Aggressive positivity check-in. You're freaking fantastic and doing an amazing freaking job. I'm so freaking proud of you. Thank you, Brando. I appreciate you. And hi, Firebug. Hi, Ruby. Hi, Cassidy. And hi, Vulcan. Hi, Looney. Hi, Jade. How are you guys doing? And thank you for the head pats. I was setting some things up while I was getting ready for a stream. I did some cooking. I set up the house. Hi Verity, welcome in. I set up a little house to put Tiki's food in because we're trying to prevent him from making messes. It actually turned out so cute. I love it. The only thing I'm sad about is I had to change the way it looks a little bit so that it would work, but he's scared to go inside. I put him inside and then he ran out of it as fast as he could. He was so scared. And I'm like, but your food is there. Why don't you like it? Come join. This is the whole point of it. I'm doing good. It was my bro's birthday yesterday. It was such a good day. That's so fun. What'd you guys do for his birthday? My sister's birthday is coming up for us. I don't know what we're doing though. I think my mom's throwing a party for her. Oh, thank you for the 100 stream watch streak, Firebug. I appreciate your support. Thank you, thank you. Also, Firebug, why is there a triangle symbol next to your name? What is that? What does that mean? I don't think I've seen that before. Hi, Azrael. Happy Sunday. I watched a lot of films till 5 a.m. Oh, nice! What was your favorite film that you watched yesterday? Hi, Demon Wolf. Welcome in. But yes, I hope you guys are having such a good day. I am exhausted. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so tired. I'm so sore. I'm not sleepy. I'm just physically exhausted. I don't know why. Well, I know why. Sonic? Oh, I haven't seen a Sonic movie. Hi, Homeless King. Welcome in. But yes, I'm so exhausted. I'm so sore. Your voice is adorable. Thank you. Thank you, Verity. I appreciate you. Oh, Looney. Thank you for the followage. I appreciate your support. But I'm so sore. I'm so tired. So I did a lot of manual labor. I guess it's not really manual labor, but I was really deep cleaning my house yesterday. So I steamed the floors. I got on my hands and knees to get all the nooks and crannies. I moved furniture. I did so much cleaning yesterday. My whole body is hurting. Oh my god. It's my birthday this Saturday? No way! Jade, did you put it in the Discord so we can say happy birthday to you? Plushie, hi, emo boy! This is my squirrel form. This is my true form. But did you put it in the Discord? That's so exciting. What are you gonna do for your birthday, Jade? I'm excited for your birthday. First you get freedom, then your birthday. How nice is that? You should get yourself a nice treat for your birthday. For me, I would do Korean barbecue or sushi because I love Korean barbecue so much. So I can't really eat right now, but I would go get some if I could. Also, I like the heart emote, Looney. I think I did. I can't remember. Let me have a look. Going to London for the day. London? That's amazing. Have you ever been there before? I've never been to London, so that's amazing. Make sure you take lots of pictures. I can't wait to see it. That's so exciting. I need to travel. I need to go places. You know, I just found out the craziest thing. This is not related to places, but it was really crazy and gross. So Do you know those jelly beans? I forgot what they're called, but you know those jelly beans that taste like things like dog food and boogers and nasty stuff? Yeah, I've been there like 39 times. Oh, I've never gone. I've never traveled. I need to travel. I want to go see it. But you know those jelly beans that like have like nasty taste? So I found out how they're made. So how they get the taste so accurate is what they do is they take a sample of whatever it is. Then they turn it into like a vapor, and then once they have the vapor, they break down, I guess, what the flavor profile is based in the vapor on the machine does, and that's how they get like the exact flavor. So we're technically like when it's vomit or like boogers, if you're eating it, you're technically eating someone's booger. You're eating someone's vomit when you eat that. So it's nasty. Hi, Fluffy. Welcome in. I thought that was crazy because I'm like, wait, then whose is it? Whose body stuff are we eating? Or like the one that tastes like socks? Who did they get the sample from is my question. Like, which person are we getting this from? That's so gross. That means they're a really gross person. Also, hi, 5 Street. Oh, wait. Hi, Cassidy. Thank you for the 5 stream watch streak. I don't know why I said hi, 5 stream watch streak. But hi, Cassidy. Thank you for the 5 stream watch streak. I appreciate your support. Since the ads are over, I am going to switch over so we can get into the story time. So we are going to be reading some more Warbreaker. I hope you guys are excited because I'm excited. Let me see. Where is the book? I'm going to pause this because we listen to the music through the Spirit Lo-Fi. My new name is 5 Stream. 5 Stream. That's so cute. I'm sorry, Cassidy. I think I just saw 5 Stream and immediately went to say hi and like messed up. Let me see. Okay, can you hear the music? Can you guys hear it? Let me see. Where is this? I hope you can hear it. If you can't hear it, let me know. If it's too loud, also let me know. Okay, and then let me see. I'm gonna look really quick. Time for ice cream. Hi, Patrick. What kind of ice cream you have? Why you out of the box, bro? A Verity? What kind of box? Oh, welcome in, Patrick. Also, I saw your hot dogs. They look yummy. Hi, welcome, 5 Stream. I promise, Cassidy, I won't do that again. I'm sorry. Let me see. Let's try to unlock another pet today. So, let's see. Which one looks cute? This one looks adorable. On windy nights, it almost sounds like something is howling at the moon. Okay, so we gotta go, I feel like through the window. We'll read right here and then we'll make it nighttime. And then the sounds, we're not gonna do fireplace, we're gonna do wind. Because it says wind sounds, so we'll do wind. Because I don't see any other winds. Oh, it looks windy outside too. That's cool. So we're going to try to unlock that new pet. So that's why we're over here today. Yeah, now you can't get all sad for me not sharing. I know, I'm so happy you shared. Thank you. Caramel with caramel bits. What's caramel bits? Is it a type of candy? I need to get some ice cream myself. Also, you know what? While we're here, let's see what kind of pets we got. Oh, look! We got a little caterpillar. Hi, Monty. I can't sleep. Oh, it says a chapter pillar. That's so cute. Hi, Monty. You can get some sleep because I'm going to go and I'm going to be reading. So you might be able to get some sleep while I'm reading. We're going to do the dust bunny. How do I change which pet? How do I change what pet? I forgot. Okay, that's the decoration. Oh, thank you for the bits, Jade. We're gonna do the bunny for now, cause it's cute. There we go. And then we'll do that for now. I'm gonna keep my outfit the same. Look how tiny! And the bunny's reading a book too! It's so cute! Thank you for the bits, Jade! And thank you for the head pats, Fluffy! Story time from Big Sis Savvy. Yes, I'm gonna be reading a story. I really want to do Snack Attack for the good old days. Oh, you're more than welcome to, Monty. You don't have to stop doing it. That's the point of it being there. Also, because of my promise, I do have to put you in jail. Abuse! Abuse! Hi, Afro! You're just in time. We haven't started reading yet. But I hope you're having a good day. I hope you guys are excited for the story time. Let me hydrate really quickly before we start. Justice for Monty? No, I made a deal. He knows what's going on. I made a deal with Itasha, and now he has to be locked up just until April. Not April. August. Okay, you said caramel is chocolate bar with liquid caramel center. Oh, I've never tried one. I wonder if they sell them in America. I'm locked up for half a year. No, once. I just got my months mixed up. It is encased in chocolate section. Each piece of the bar has caramel. Oh, nice. I need to try one of those. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Okay, there we go. I put the book title for everyone, so when you guys come in, you guys know what the book we are reading. Thank you for the bits, Jade. I appreciate you. Guys, is the alerts working? Cause what is it called? My thing updated and then it messed up the alerts for some reason. It's so weird now. I need to try one of those chocolates, Patrick. Munching on the biddies. Yeah, that's just so sweet. I appreciate you, Jade. Hi, Schematic. Okay, everyone, I am gonna get into the story time. So I hope you guys are ready. Is the music too loud? I'm gonna turn it down a little bit because I'm gonna talk a little bit like this, lower level, while I'm reading. Amazon or Walmart will ship it out, otherwise it's an import. Okay, I will definitely have to look into that. Okay, you should post it in the extras and then I'll take a look at it. Hi, Derper. Happy Sunday. Storytime, yes. We are continuing Warbreaker. For those of you that weren't here last time, basically, she has decided to pretend to do the do. So she got threatened. So as we know, the God King will not do the do with her. I have no clue why. He won't even talk to her. And so basically she jumped on the bed and pretended to do it. Like she started yelling and was jumping on the bed because of the fact that they threatened her that she needs to have a baby, or So there's gonna be consequences. They didn't say what, but they just said there's gonna be consequences if she doesn't. So she made it seem like she's doing something and then went to sleep. And the God King didn't actually react or anything, which shocked me. I thought he would at least get up and talk to her, but he still has not talked to her. And then, outside of that, hi Hobby Gobby. The sister is in the court of gods now. Or no, she's not in the court of gods. Oh my god, she's in the city now. Her sister's in the city, and she is working with some people that she hired to help cause issues for war. So basically, they're trying to make sure that it's hard for this city to go to war with her hometown, Haladrin. I think Haladrin. I have to remember the name, but she doesn't want people to go to war with her hometown, so she's working with some mercenaries to try and cause issues in the city so that they can't go to war. She needs to have... Oh, what? She has to have a baby. Savvy, you should read Terry Pratchett. Yes, any books that you guys would like me to read, all you have to do is post them in the Discord in the book recommendations. And then after I'm done with this book, we will do a book voting. And then we'll read, that'll decide what book we read next. But it will end up being all of the books at one point. So if you guys do want me to read a book, just put it in there. I will end up reading all of them. Yeah, any book that you want to hear as long as it's appropriate for stream. If it's not appropriate for stream, it will not be listened to. Appropriate meaning it can't have too many scandalous things. I hear Tiki playing. Yeah, he's playing with his toys. I built him a bird wall, so I changed his room a little bit so that he's not bothering me as much while I'm on my desk. So he's actually playing with his toys on the bird wall right now. I'll take a video for you guys. Hold on. He's playing with a maraca. He's very happy. Let me see. Say hi. Okay, I took a little video to show you guys. It's gonna be in the Discord. If you guys are not in the Discord, ! Discord, and then you can see the video. Let me post it in the pets. I took a picture. This is his new bird wall. I just built it so he'll behave while I'm streaming. So he's playing right now with the maraca, if you guys want to see it. And thank you, Patrick. But yeah, any book that you guys want me to read, just add it to the Discord under the book recommendations, and I will add it to the votes, and then we read it. Hi, Skywalker. Happy Sunday. But now we shall begin the reading, guys. If the music's too loud or anything, please stop me and I will adjust it, because I don't talk as loud while I'm reading, so that my voice will be okay the whole stream. So just let me know, everyone. But let me know also what you think of Tiki's bird wall. I added some toys. I need to buy some more toys for it, but that's the start of the bird wall. So he can climb up higher and stuff. Okay. If you guys are ready, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And we are at the scene with her sister now. Viviana sat back against the wall, using her breathing to calm herself. She tried not to feel threatened by the lifeless in the corner. How could they go about it? Ignoring it like that. It was so unnatural that it made her itch and squirm. Eventually, Death noticed her. He told Tungfa to oil the blades, then walked over and sat down in front of Viviana, leaning back with her hands against the floor, behind him. That lifeless is going to be a problem, Princess? He asked. Yes, she said curtly. Then we'll need to work it out, he said, meeting her eyes. My team can't function if you tie our hands. Jules has invested a lot of effort into learning the proper commands to use a lifeless, not to mention learning to maintain the thing. We don't need her. Yes, Denth said. Yes, we do, Princess. You brought a lot of biases into the city. It's not my place to tell you what to do with them. I'm just your employee, but I will tell you that you don't know half the things that you think you do. It's not about what I think. I know, Denth, Viviana said. It's about what I believe. A person's body shouldn't be abused by making it come back to life to serve you. Oh, Tiki's so cute. He loves his new stuff. I'm glad you like it. He's so cute. He's so happy with it. Yeah, he's just climbing over there and he's playing with his new toys. It was so hard to build. I can't wait to add more to it. And then he'll be up there all the time and he won't bother me as much. Why not? He asked. Your own theology says a soul leaves the body and dies. The corpse is just recycled dirt. Why not use it? It's wrong, Viviana said. The family of the corpse was well paid for the body. Doesn't matter, Viviana said. Denth leaned forward. Well, fine then. But if you order Jules away, you order us all away. I'll give you your money back, then you'll go hire another team of bodyguards. You can use them instead. I thought you were my employee, Viviana snapped. I am, Denth said. But I can quit whenever I want. And she sat down, stomach unsettled. Your father was willing to use the means that he didn't agree with, Denth said. Judge him if you must, but me, this? If using a lifeless could save your kingdom, who are you going to ignore the opportunity? I might just join him. It looks fun. Yeah, he would love it if you did. Why do you care? Viviana asked. I just don't like leaving things unfinished. Viviana glanced away. Look at it this way, Princess, he said. You can work with us, which will give you chances to explain your views. Maybe change our minds on things like lifeless and biochroma. Or you can send us away. But if you reject us because of our sins, aren't you being ostentatious? Don't the 5 visions say something about that? Viviana frowned. How does he know so much about ostracism? I'll think about it, she said. Why did Jules bring all those swords? We'll need weapons, Denth said. You know, has to do with the violence we mentioned earlier. You don't already have any? Denth shrugged. Tungfa usually cringed. Oh, sorry. Tungfa usually had a cudgel or a knife on him, but a full sword draws attention in Tillier. It's best not to stand out. Your people have some interesting wisdom in that area. But now we don't really have a choice, he said. If we keep moving forward with Lemex's plans, things are going to get dangerous. He eyed her. Which reminds me, I have something else for you to think about. What? Those breaths you hold, Denth said. They're a tool, just like lifeless. Now, I know you don't agree with it, with how they were obtained, but the fact is, you have them. If a dozen slaves die to forge a sword, does it do any good to melt down the sword and refuse to use it? Or is it better to use the sword and try to stop the men who did such evil things in the first place? What are you saying? Viviana said, feeling that she already probably knew. You should learn to use the breaths, Denth said. Tonks and I sure could use an awakener as a backup. I'm pronouncing things so weird today. Don't judge me. Sorry, guys. I went to see my dad this weekend, so my accent is a little bit stronger. My dad is the Spanish side. I sent a picture in your Discord of the crested geckos. Oh, let me see. Oh, so cute, Jade. I love their little setup. Accented savvy. Yeah, if you can't tell, like, I'm struggling to pronounce things. I literally saw him yesterday, so that's why. So my accent is coming back a tiny bit. It's cute, thank you. I just feel bad because I'm reading a story and then I'm pronouncing things so weird. Viviana closed her eyes. Did he? Oh, thank you for the sub, Jack. I appreciate your support. She might be having a baby soon. No way. That's so exciting. Are you gonna keep it if she has a baby? Thank you for the sub, Jack. I appreciate you. Yes? Do they get to stay in the same cage together, or do they fight when they're in the cage together? And well, thank you for the check-in, Jack. Viviana closed her eyes. Did he have to hit her with that right now? Right after twisting her around her concerns about Lifeless? She had expected to find uncertainties and obstacles in Tillier. She just hadn't expected so many difficult decisions. And she hadn't expected them to endanger her soul. No, we'll be separated. Make sure you take pictures if she does have a baby. I want to see. Please and thank you. I'm not going to become an awakener, Denth, Viviana said quietly. I might turn a blind eye toward that Lifeless for now, but I will not awaken. I expect to take these breaths to my death so that nobody else can benefit from harvesting them. No matter what you say, if you buy that sword forged by overworked slaves, then you'll just encourage the evil merchants. Denth fell silent, then nodded, standing. You're the boss, and it's your kingdom. If we fail, the only thing I lose is an employer. Denth, Jules said, approaching. She barely gave Viviana a glance. I don't like this. I don't like the fact that he got here first. He has breath. Reports say he looked to have reached at least the 4th heightening. Maybe the 5th. I'll bet he got it from the rebel Var. How do you even know it's him? Denth asked. Jules snorted. Words all over. People being found slaughtered in alleyways. The wounds corrupt the black. Sightings of new powerful awakener roaming the city. Carrying a black-handled sword and silver sheath. It's Tax all right. Going by a different name now. Denth nodded. Vasher, he used it for a while. It's a joke on his part. Viviana frowned. Black-handled sword? Silver sheath? The man in the arena? Who are we talking about? Jules shot her an annoyed look, but Denth just shrugged. Old friend of ours. He's bad trouble, Tungpa said, walking up. Tax tends to leave a lot of bodies in his wake. Has strange motivations and doesn't think like other people. He's interested in war for some reason, Denth, Jules said. Let him be, Denth snapped. That will just bring him across my path all sooner. He turned away, waving a hand indifferently. Viviana watched him go, noting the frustration in his step, the curtness of his motions. What is wrong with him? She asked Tunkpa. Tax or, I guess, Vasher, Tunkpa said. I think it for the hydrate. I appreciate you. What is wrong with him? She asked Tunkpa. Tax or I guess Vasher, Tunkpa said. He killed a good friend of ours over the yarn dread a couple months back. Denth used to have 4 people in this team. It shouldn't have happened, Jules said. Our Steel was a brilliant duelist, almost as good as Denth. Vasher's never been able to beat either of them. He used that sword of his, Tunkpa grumbled. There was no blackness around the wound, Jules said. Then he cut the blackness out. Tunkpa snapped, watching Denth belt a sword to his waist. There's no way Vasher beat our Steel in a fair duel. No way. This Vasher, Viviana found herself saying. I saw him. Jules and Tunkpa turned sharply. He was at the court yesterday, Viviana asked. Tall man carrying a sword when nobody else did. It had a black hilt and a silver sheath. He looked ragged, hair unkempt, beard scraggly, clothing ripped in places, only rope for a belt. He was watching me from behind. He looked dangerous. Tunkpa cursed quietly. That's him, Jules said. Denth! What? Denth said. Jules gestured at Viviana. He's a step ahead of us. Been tailing your princess here. She just saw him watching her at the court. Colors, Denth swore, snapping a dual blade into the sheath at the waist. Colors, colors, colors. What? Viviana asked, paling. Maybe it was just a coincidence. He could have just come to watch the court. Denth shook his head. There are no coincidences where this man is concerned, Princess. If he was watching you, then you can bet on the colors that he knew exactly who you are and where you came from. He met your eyes, and he's probably planning to kill you. Viviana fell silent. Tunkpa laid a hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, Viviana. He wants to kill us too. At least you're in good company. So much comforting. Okay, and now we are in chapter 20. We're making so much progress in this book. For the first time in her several weeks at the palace, Ciri stood before the God King's door and felt neither worried nor tired. Blue Fingers oddly wasn't scribbling on his pad. He watched her silently, expression unreadable. Ciri almost smiled to herself. Gone were the days when she'd lie on the floor, awkwardly trying to kneel, while her back complained. Gone were the days when she had to fall asleep on the marble. her discarded dress her only comfort. Ever since she'd grown daring enough to climb into the bed the previous week, she slept well each night, comfortable and warm, and not once had she been touched by the God King. It was a nice arrangement, the priest apparently satisfied that she was doing her wifely duties. Left her alone. She didn't have to be naked in front of anyone. She was beginning to learn a new social dynamic of the palace. She'd even gone for a few more sessions of the court assembly. Though she hadn't mingled with the returned vessel, Bluefinger said quietly. She turned toward him, raising an eyebrow. He shuffled uncomfortably. You have found a new way to make the king respond to your advances, then? That got out, did it? She asked, looking back at the door. Inside, her smile deepened. Indeed it did, Vessel, Bluefinger said, tapping his ledger from beneath. Only those in the palace know about any of this, of course. Good, Siri thought. She glanced to the side. Bluefingers did not look pleased. What? She asked. I'm out of danger. The priest can stop worrying about an heir. For a few months at least. They'll get suspicious eventually. Vessel, Bluefinger said with a harsh whisper. Doing your duty as a vessel was the danger. Oh, thank you for the 5-stream watch streak, Queen Buddy. I appreciate your support and thank you for hanging out. She frowned, looking at Bluefingers as the scribe tapped his board. Oh gods, oh gods, oh gods, he whispered to himself. What? She asked. I shouldn't say. Then what is the point of bringing it up in the first place? Honestly, Bluefingers, you're getting frustrating. Leave me too confused and I might just start asking questions. Hi, Silence. Welcome in. Oh, and thank you for the followage, Jade. I appreciate your support. No, Bluefinger said sharply, then immediately glanced behind him, cringing slightly. Vessel, you must not speak to others of my fears. They're silly, really nothing to bother anyone else with. Just... What? She asked. You must not bear him a child. Bluefinger said. That is the danger. Both to yourself and the God King himself. Everything here in the palace, it's not what it appears to be. That's what everyone says, she snapped. If it's not what it seems, then tell me what it is. There is no need, Bluefinger said. And I will not speak of this again after tonight. You will conduct yourself to the bedchamber. You obviously have the pattern down well enough. Just wait 100 heartbeats or so after the women let you out of your dressing room. You have to tell me something, Siri said. Vessel, Bluefinger said, leaning in. I advise you to please keep your voice down. You don't know how many factions shift and move inside the palace. I am a member of many of them. And a stray word on your part would mean my death. Do you understand that? Can you understand that? Hi, Pumpkin. It's nice to catch you live. Normally I watch and listen to your vids at work. Oh yeah, today is the story time. So 2 hours of reading a book and then 2 hours of a spooky short movie. So if you stick around, we're gonna watch some short movies in another hour. And it's nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Also, thank you for being here also, Pumpkin. I can't play the movies on TikTok, so if you want to watch the movies, you have to come to the purple app. The link is in the bio, but everything else, the story time is on TikTok too. And right now we're reading Warbreaker, if anyone is interested. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Well, I guess I'm getting unbanned. I should not be putting my life in danger because of you, he said. But there are things about this arrangement with which I do not agree. And so I give my warning. Avoid giving the God King a child. If you want to know more than that, read your histories. Honestly, I think that you'd come to all of this a little bit more prepared. And with that, the little man left. Okay, now I work a third shift, so back to bed after my dog comes inside. No worries. Well, thank you for being here, Silence. I appreciate you so much. And you should send a picture in the Discord of your dog. I would love to see. I put my Discord in your... I put my birthday in your Discord, Savvy. As I can't remember if I put it in there. It's okay, Jade. I'll make sure it's in there. A little later. Thank you. I can't wait to see it, Silence. And I can't wait to see your birthday. I'm gonna remember your birthday. Siri shook her head, then sighed, and pushed open the door and entered the God King's chamber. She closed the door, then eyed the God King, who watched her as always, and pulled off her dress, leaving the shift on. She went to bed, sat down, waiting for a few minutes before climbing onto her knees and doing the bouncing. Hi, Blood Rose Kitsune. I'm glad you're enjoying the story. Welcome in. Well, she waited a few minutes before climbing up on her knees to do the bouncing and moaning act. She varied it sometimes, doing it several different rhythms, getting creative. Once she was done, she snuggled down in the blankets and laid back on the pillows to think. Could Bluefingers have been any more obscure? She thought with frustration. What little Siri knew of political intrigue told her that people preferred to be subtle, obscure, even to protect themselves from implications. This is called Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. It's okay, she's playing football. Read your histories. It seemed an odd suggestion. If the secrets were that visible, then why would they be dangerous? Oh, why would they be dangerous? Still, as she thought, she did find herself feeling grateful for Bluefingers. She couldn't really blame him for his hesitation. He probably already endangered himself far more than he should have. Without him, she wouldn't have known she was in danger. In a way, he was the only friend that she had in this city. A person like herself, a person drawn in from another country, a country that was overshadowed by beautiful, bold Haladrin. A man who... Her thoughts trailed off. She felt something odd. She opened her eyes. Someone loomed over her in the darkness. Despite herself, Siri screamed in surprise. The God King jumped back, stumbling, heart thumping. She shuffled backward on the bed, pulling the covers over her chest. Though, of course, he had seen her unclothed so often that it was a ridiculous gesture. The God King stood in his dark black clothing, looking uncertain in the hearth's wavering light. She'd never asked her servants why he always wore black. One would think that he would prefer white, with which he could affect so dramatically with his biochroma. For a few moments, Siri sat with the blankets clutched before her, then forced herself to relax. "Stop being so silly," she told herself. "He's never so much as threatened you." "It's all right," she said softly. "You just startled me." He glanced at her, and with a jolt of surprise, she realized this was the first time she'd addressed him. Since her outburst the previous week, now that he stood, she could see him even better now. How heroic he looked. Tall, broad-shouldered like a statue. Human, but of more dramatic proportions. Carefully showing more uncertainty than she'd ever expected from a man who had the title of God King. Also, hi, welcome in, Can. And we are reading Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. And also, good night, Monty. Get some eeps. I hope you have some rest. He moved back to the bed. He sat down on its edge. Then he reached to his shirt, pulling it up. "Oh, Oster," she thought with a sudden shock. "Oh God, Lord of Colors, this is it. He's finally coming for me." She couldn't fight off the trembles. She convinced herself that she was safe and comfortable. She shouldn't have to go through this. Not again. "I can't do it. I can't. The God King pulled something out from underneath his shirt, then let the garment drape down his back. Siri sat, breath coming in gasps, slowly realizing that he was making no further movements toward her. She calmed herself, forcing the color back into her hair. The God King laid the object on the bed, and the firelight revealed it to be a book. Siri immediately thought of the histories Bluefingers had mentioned, but she quickly discarded the idea. This book, from the title on the spine, was a book of stories for children. The God King let his fingers rest on it. Then he delicately opened the first page. The white parchment bent in the force of his biochroma, shooting out prismatic colors. This didn't distort the text, and Siri carefully inched forward, looking at the words. She looked up at the God King. His face seemed to be less stiff than usual. He nodded down at the page and then pointed at the first word. "You want me to read this?" Siri asked in a low whisper, mindful of the priest who might be listening. The God King nodded. "It says stories for children," Siri said, confused. He turned the book around, looking at it himself. He rubbed his chin in thought. "What's going on?" she thought. It didn't seem like he was going to bed her. Did he instead expect her to read a story to him? She couldn't imagine him asking for something that childish. She looked up at him again. He turned the book around, pointing at the first word. He nodded toward it. "Stories?" Siri asked. He pointed at the word. She looked closely, trying to discern some hidden meaning or mysterious text. She sighed, looking up at him. "Why don't you just tell me?" He paused, cocking his head, then opened his mouth. By the waning light of the hearth's fire, Siri saw something shocking. The God King of Haladrin had no tongue. There was a scar. She could just barely see it if she squinted closely. Something happened to him. Some terrible accident had ripped it free, or it had been taken purposefully. Oh, thank you for the follow, Kapow. I appreciate you. Welcome in. Why would anyone remove the tongue of the king himself? The answer came to her almost immediately. Biochromatic breath, she realized. Thinking back to a half-remembered lesson from her childhood, to awaken objects, a person must give a command. Words spoken in a crisp, clear voice. No slurring or mumbling aloud, or the breath will not function. The God King looked away, suddenly seeming ashamed. He picked up the book, holding it to his chest, and moved to stand. No, please, Ciri said, edging forward. She reached her hand forward and touched his arm. The God King froze. She immediately pulled her hand back. I didn't mean to look so disgusted, Ciri said in her whispered voice. That wasn't because of your mouth. It was because I was realizing why it must have been done to you. The God King studied her, then slowly seated himself again. He held himself back far enough that they were not touching, and she did not reach for him again. However, he did carefully, almost reverently, put his book back down. He opened the first page again, then looked at her, his eyes pleading. You can't read, can you? Ciri asked. He shook his head. That's the secret, she whispered. The thing that scares Bluefinger so much. You're not king, you're a puppet, a figurehead. You're paraded around by your priest, given a biochromatic aura so strong that it makes people fall to their knees in wonder. Yet, they took your tongue so that you could never use it. And they never taught you to read, lest you learn too much and manage to communicate with others. He sat and looked away. All so that they could control you. No wonder Bluefingers is so scared. If they would do that to their own god, then the rest of us are nothing to them. It made sense now, why they had been so adamant about her not talking to or even kissing the king. It made sense why they would dislike her so much. They were worried about someone spending time alone with the God King, someone who might discover the truth. I'm sorry, she whispered. He shook his head, then met her eyes. There was a strength in them that she wouldn't have expected of a man who had been sheltered and isolated as much as he had been. Finally, he looked down, pointing back at the words on the page. The first word. The first letter, actually. That is the letter Shash, Ciri said, smiling. I can teach them all to you if you wish. The priests were right to be worried. And now we are on chapter 21. Vasher stood atop the palace of the God King, watching the sun drop above the western rainforest. The sunset was vibrant amidst the clouds, colors flaring, beautiful reds and oranges painting the trees. The sun disappeared and the colors faded. Some said that before a man died, his biochromatic aura flared with sudden brightness, like a heart giving its last beat, like the final surge of a wave before the tide retreats. Vasher had seen it happen, but Not with every death. The event was rare, much like the perfect sunset. Dramatic, Nightblood noted. The sunset, Vasher asked. Yes. You can't see it, he said to the sword, but I can feel you seeing it. Crimson, like blood in the air. Vasher didn't respond. The sword couldn't see it, but with its powerful twisted biochroma, it could sense life in people. Both were things Nightblood had been created to protect. It was strange how easily and quickly protection could cause destruction. Sometimes Vasher wondered if the two weren't really the same thing. Protect the flower, destroy the pest who wanted to feed on it. Protect the building, destroy the plants that could have grown in the soil. Protect a man, live with the destruction he creates. Although it was dark, Vasher's life sense was strong. He could just faintly feel the grass growing below and knew how far it was. With more breaths, he might even have been able to sense the lichen growing on the polished stones. Hi, Golden! Your reading screen is super cute. Thank you! He knelt down, laying one hand on his trouser leg and one on the stone of the palace. Strengthen me, he commanded. Breathing, his trousers' legs stiffened, and a patch of color bled from the black stone beside him. Black was a color. He'd never considered that before he'd become an awakener. Tassels hanging at his cuffs stiffened, wrapping around his ankle. With him kneeling as he was, they could also twist around the bottoms of his feet. Vasher placed a hand on the shoulder of his shirt, touching another patch of marble as he formed an image in his mind. Upon call, become my fingers and grip, he commanded. The shirt quivered, and a group of tassels curled around his hands, 5 of them like fingers. It was difficult. It required far more breath to awaken than he would have liked. His remaining breath barely allowed him to be at the second heightening, and the visualization of the command had taken practice to perfect. The finger tassels were worth it. They had proven very useful, and he was loath to engage in the night activities without them. He stood up straight, noting the scar of gray on the marble. The otherwise perfectly black palace surface. He smiled to think of the indignation the priests would feel when they discovered it. He tested the strength in his legs, gripping Nightblood, then took a careful step off the side of the palace. He fell some 10 feet. The palace was constructed from a massive stone blocks in a steep pyramidal shape. He landed hard on the next block, but his awakened clothing absorbed some of the shock, acting like a second external set of bones. He stood up, nodding to himself, then jumped down to the other pyramid steps. Eventually, he landed on the soft grass of the north of the palace, close to the wall that surrounded the entire plateau. He crouched quietly. Sneaking, Vasher, Nightblood said. You're terrible at sneaking. Vasher didn't respond. You should attack, Nightblood said. You're good at that. You just want to prove how strong you are, Vasher thought. Well, yes, the sword replied, but you do have to admit that you're bad at sneaking. Vasher ignored the sword. A lone man in ragged clothing carrying a sword across the grounds would be conspicuous. So he surveyed. He had picked a night when the gods hadn't planned on grand celebrations out in the courtyard, but there was still small groups of priests and minstrels or servants moving between palaces. How sure are you about that information of yours? Nightblood said, because honestly, I don't trust the priest. He isn't a priest, Vasher thought. He moved carefully, creeping through the dark starlit shadow of the wall's overhang. His contact had warned him to stay away from the palaces of influential gods like Blushweaver and Stillmark. But he had also said that the palace of the lesser god, like Gift Beacon or Peace Yearnings, wouldn't work for Vasher's purpose. Instead, Vasher sought out a home in Mercy Star. Hi, Nautical! Welcome in! Vasher sought out a home in Mercy Star, a return known for her involvement in politics, yet who wasn't all that influential. Her palace looked relatively dark this evening, but there would still be guards. Haladrin returned, all had servants to spare. Sure enough, Vasher located two men watching the door he wanted. They wore extravagant costumes of court servants, colored yellow and gold after the pattern of their mistress. Oh, Nautical, that sounds amazing. My current read is Catabasis. If you have any books that you want me to read on stream, you can post them in the Discord under the book recommendations, and then we will vote on the next book when I'm done with this one. I would love to hear the books that you're into. As long as they're appropriate for stream. Then I can read them on stream. But I still will be open to the other stuff. And not on stream. The men weren't armed. Who would attack the home of the returned? They were simply there to keep anyone from wandering in and bothering their lady while she slept. They stood by their lanterns, alert and attentive, but more for the sake of appearances than anything else. Vasher obscured Nightblood beneath his cloak, then walked out of the darkness, looking from side to side. Anxiously mumbling to himself, he hunched his body to help hide the oversized hidden blade. I'm still here just getting cozy. No, of course. You're more than welcome to lurk. This is meant to be like a cozy time. If you guys have snackies, if you guys want to take a nap, you're more than welcome to just listen and vibe. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys because I like reading these books with you. Oh, please, Nightblood said flatly. The crazy disguise? You're cleverer than that. It'll work, Vasher thought. This is the court of gods. Nothing attracts the unbalanced more than the prospect of meeting deities. The two guards looked up when they saw him approaching, but they didn't seem surprised. They had probably dealt with marginally insane people every day of their professional careers. Vasher had seen the types of people who ended up in the lines for the return petitions. Here now, one of them said as Vasher approached. How'd you get in here? Vasher stepped up onto them, mumbling to himself about talking to the goddess. The second man put a hand on Vasher's shoulder. Come on, friend. Let's get you back to the gates and see if there's a shelter that's still taking people for the night. Vasher hesitated. Kindness. He hadn't expected that for some reason. The emotion made him feel a tad guilty for what he was going to do next. He snapped his arm to the side, twisting his thumb twice to make the long finger tassels of his shirt sleeve begin mimicking the motions of his real fingers. He formed a fist. The tassel snapped forward, wrapping around the first guard's neck. The man choked out a soft gasp of surprise. Before the second guard could react, Vasher brought up Nightblood, ramming the hilt into the guard's stomach. The man stumbled, and Vasher swept his feet from out beneath him. Vasher's boot followed, coming down slowly but firmly on the man's neck. He wiggled, but Vasher's legs bore awakened strength. Vasher stood for a long moment, both men struggling, neither managing to escape their strangulation. A short time later, Vasher stepped off the second guard's neck, then lowered the first guard to the grass, twitching his thumb twice and releasing the finger tassels. "You didn't use me much," Nightblood said, sounding hurt. "You couldn't have used me. I'm better than a shirt." "Oh, you could have used me. I'm better than a shirt. I'm a sword." Vasher ignored the comments, scanning the darkness to see if he had been spotted. "I really am better than a shirt. I would have killed them. Look, they're still breathing, stupid shirt." That was the point, Vasher thought. Corpses cause more trouble than men who get knocked out. "I could knock people out," Nightblood said immediately. Vasher shook his head, ducking into the building. Returned palaces, this one included, were generally just collections of open rooms with colorful sheets on the doorways. The weather was so temperate in Haladrin that the buildings could be open to the air all times. He didn't go through the central rooms, but instead stayed in the peripheral servant hallway. If Vasher's informant had been truthful, then what he wanted could be found on the northeast side of the building. As he walked, he unraveled a rope from his waist. "Belts are stupid too," Nightblood said. At that moment, a group of 4 servants rounded the corner, directly ahead of Vasher. Vasher looked up, startled but not surprised. The servant's shock lasted a second longer than his own. Within a heartbeat, Vasher snapped the rope forward. "Hold things," he commanded, giving up most of his remaining breath. The rope wrapped around one arm of the servant's. Though Vasher had been aiming for the neck, Vasher cursed, yanking the person forward. The man cried out, and Vasher knocked him against the angle of the corner. The others moved to run. Vasher whipped out Nightblood with his other hand. "Yes!" the sword thought. Vasher didn't draw the sword. He simply tossed it forward. "You're doing very well reading." "Oh, thank you, Jade. I appreciate you." "Thank you." The blade skidded against the floor and then came to rest before the 3 men. One of the group froze, looking down at the sword, transfixed. S.I.M.P. I'm gonna hydrate while you guys dance. S to the I to the M to the P. Let me see. The blade skidded across the floor, then came to rest before 3 men. One of the group froze, looking down at the sword, transfixed. He reached out tentatively, eyes awed. The other 2 took off running, yelling about an intruder. Blast! Vasher thought. He yanked the rope, knocking the entangled servant off his feet again. As the servant tried to stumble to his feet, Vasher dashed forward and wrapped the rope around the man's hands and body. To his side, the remaining servant ignored both Vasher and his friend. This man picked up Nightblood, eyes alight. He undid the snap on the hilt, moving to pull the sword. When he had barely gotten a thin silver blade free, a dark fluid like smoke began to stream out. Some dripped to the ground. Other tendrils of it snaked out and wrapped around the man's arm, drawing the color from his skin. Vasher kicked out with an awakened leg, knocking the man down, forcing him to drop Nightblood. Vasher left the first man squirming, tied up, then grabbed the man who had held the sword and rammed his head against the wall. Breathing hard, Vasher grabbed Nightblood, closed the sheath, and did up the clasp. Then he reached over, touching the rope that had tied the day's servant. "Your breath to mine," he said, recovering the breath from the rope, leaving the man bound. "You didn't let me kill him," Nightblood said, annoyed. "No," Vasher said, "corpses, remember? And 2 ran away from me. That's not right. You cannot tempt the hearts of men who are pure, Nightblood." No matter how much he explained that concept, it seemed beyond the sword's ability to comprehend. Vasher moved quickly, dashing down the hallway. He had only a little further to go, but there were already cries of an alarm and calls for help. He had no desire to fight. An army of servants and soldiers. He stopped uncertain in the unadorned hallway. I went to stand up and stepped on my phone charger plug. Ouch, the baby toe. Oh no, Jade, I hope you're okay. It didn't cut you, did it? Or like hurt you? Well, I probably hurt, but didn't cut you? Well, hot diggity thing. What a thing to come back to. Oh, you missed it, Afro. The God King does not have a tongue. The God King doesn't have a tongue. That's why they told her she's not allowed to kiss him or talk to him. He's a puppet. He can't even read. No, bend my toe back though. Oh, that hurts more too. Oh, I hope it goes away fast, the pain, Jade. He noticed idly that awakening the rope had inadvertently stolen the color from his boots and cloak. The only pieces of clothing he wore that weren't awakened themselves. What does not having a tongue... No, they're using him as a puppet, so they're not letting him learn to read. That's basically what's happening. They're keeping him as a puppet, so they took away his tongue so that he can't use commands, you know, like for the awakened. He can't use commands and he can't talk and he can't read because they didn't let him. Also, did he talk to that Thai lady? No, that's the other guy. That's not the God King. That's someone else that talked to him. Talked to the lady. That's a different god. But the God King can't talk. But nobody knows that. Wow, how does he lick a lollipop? I don't know. It's so sad. And that's why he left our girlie in the dust all night. Yeah, because he was ashamed about his tongue. That he can't talk, he can't do anything. Well, I mean, he can do other stuff, but he can't talk or nothing, so he felt ashamed. But now they're nice. Now they're getting along. She's gonna teach him to read. With his nose, maybe? Ew! The gray clothing would instantly brand him for what he was. But the thought of backing down now made him cringe. Wait, they met? Yeah, Afro, just now, like a few seconds ago. So I just read about it just now. Basically, what happened is he came to the bed and asked her to read something to him. He didn't ask her, he like pointed to it, and then she's like confused because she's like, what, you want me to read this? And he basically was asking her to teach him to read because they took his tongue and would not teach him to read. So she decided she's gonna teach him to read. And that's what we were left at for them. They're in the bedroom and reading secretly because he's not allowed to learn to read. Which I think is so cute. They're making a friendship now. You missed it, Afro. But the thought of backing down now made him cringe. He gritted his teeth in frustration, punching the wall. This was supposed to have gone a lot more smoothly. I told you weren't sneaky, Nightblood said. Shut up, Vasher thought, determined not to run. He reached into his pouch at his belt, pulling out the object. Within it? A dead squirrel! Why does he have a dead squirrel? Oh my god, he has a dead squirrel, guys. I'm not even joking. I swear it says dead squirrel. He was ashamed to meet her, but not ashamed to instantly start ordering her around. No, he did it in like a nice, like shy way, Afro. You had to listen to the story. You missed it. Say what? Yeah, he has a dead squirrel. Yuck, Nightblood said with a sniff. Vasher knelt, putting a hand on the creature. Awaken to my breath, he commanded. Serve my needs, live at my command and my word. Fallen rope. Those last words, fallen rope, formed with security phrase. Vasher could not have chosen anything, but he picked the first thing that came to his mind. One breath was leached from his body and going down into the small rodent's corpse. The thing began to twitch. That was a breath Vasher would never be able to recover, for creating a lifeless was a permanent act. The squirrel lost all color, bleeding to gray. The awakening, feeding off of the body's own colors to help fuel the transformation. The squirrel had been gray in the first place, so the difference was tough to see. That's why Vasher liked to use them. Fallen rope, he said to the creature, its gray eyes looking up at him. Blasphemy! A nice shy way of ghosting somebody and then only talking to her when he needs something? Well, yeah, but I think it was shy, like adorable shy. The way it sounded, it was like adorable shy. You had to be there. You had to be there. Poor squirrel. I know. The squirrel's a servant now for life. He's gonna be like a servant by the spirit. The security phrase pronounced, Vasher could now imprint the creature with an order. Much as he did when performing on a standard awakening. Make noise, run around, bite people who are not me. Fallen rope. The second use of the words closed it impressionability, so it could no longer be commanded. The squirrel hopped to its feet, then scampered down the hallway, heading for the open door, then fleeing. So he just he brought the squirrel back to life so it could bite everybody, basically. Lazy, he just wants the squirrel to do all the work for him. You're just letting him off the hook because he's 6 foot high, but... Well, no, I just thought it was, like, sweet. You had to hear the story. He was very shy and very sweet about it. And I felt bad for him because he didn't have a tongue. Keep reading, I'm gonna get some water. Get some water, Jade! Get some hydration! Servants had disappeared into... Vasher stood and began to run again, hoping that this distraction would earn him time. Indeed, a few moments later he heard cries coming from the doorway. Clangs and screams followed. Lifeless could be difficult to stop, particularly a fresh one with orders to bite. Vasher smiled. "We could have taken them," Nightblood said. Vasher rushed to the palace with his information had indicated. The location was marked by a splintered board in the wall. Ostensibly, just normal wear of the building. Vasher crouched, hoping that his information had not lied. He searched around on the floor, then froze as he found the hidden latch. He pulled it open, revealing a trap door. Returned palaces were only supposed to be one story. He smiled. "What if this tunnel doesn't have a way out?" Nightblood asked, as Vasher dropped into the hole, trusting his awakened clothing to absorb the fall. "Then you probably get to kill a lot of people," Vasher thought. However, his information had been good so far. He suspected that the rest was as good as well. The priest of iridescent tones, it appeared, were hiding things from the rest of the kingdom and from their gods. Rapey squirrel, I know, it was attacking everybody. And now we are in chapter 22. Weatherlove, god of storms, selected one of the wooden spears from the rack, then hefted it in his hand. It had been built to fill the palm of a god, and was weighed in the middle with lead. Carved with rings across the surface, it was painted a deep blue. "A doubling sphere?" asked Life Blesser. "A bold move." Weatherlove eyed the small group of gods behind him. Lightsong was among them, sipping on a sweet orange fruit drink with some kind of alcohol enhancement. It had been several days since he'd allowed Larimar to talk him out of bed, but still, he had come to no conclusion on how to proceed. That squirrel is savvy self-insert? I swear it's not. It's just a fun coincidence. I'm so happy that it was in there. Aside from it being dead, I'm happy. "A bold move indeed," Weatherlove said, tossing the spear up into the air, then catching it. "Tell me, Lightsong the Bold, do you favor this throw?" The gods chuckled. There were 4 of them playing as usual. Weatherlove wore a green and gold robe that hung from only one shoulder with a wrap around his waist that came down to the mid-thigh. The outfit, patterned after ancient dress of the return from the paintings centuries past, revealed his sculptured muscles and divine figure. He stood at the edge of the balcony, as it was his turn to throw. "Got water, welcome back!" Lightsong the Bold. Just like Afro, the Bold. Seated behind him were the 3 others. Lightsong on the left and Life Blesser, god of healing, in the middle. Truth Call, god of nature. Oh, where'd it go? Truth Call, god of nature, sat on the far right, wearing his ornate cloak and uniform of maroon and white. The 3 gods were variations on theme. If Lightsong hadn't known them all, he would have had trouble telling them apart. Each stood almost exactly 7 feet tall with bulging muscles that any mortal would have envied. True Life Blesser had brown hair, while Weatherlove had some blonde, and Truthcall had some black. But all 3 had the same set of square-jawed, featured, perfect coiffure, and innate seamless grace that marked them as returned divinities. Only their costumes were really of any variety. Hi, Marcus Anthony. Savvy Gerbil, whatever, Fro. You're just jealous because you don't have hair. And of course, Jade, happy to have you here. Light Song sipped his drink. Do I bless your throw, Weather Love? He asked. Are we not in competition against one another? I suppose, the god said, tossing the wooden ball up and down. Then, why would I bless you when you throw against me? Weatherlove just smirked, then pulled back his arm and launched the ball out across the pitch. It bounced and rolled over the grass, eventually coming to a rest. This section of the courtyard had been divided into an expansive game board with ropes and stakes. Priests and servants scurried about on the sides, making notations and keeping track of the score so that the gods wouldn't have to. How far did he throw it? It didn't say. Terrachin was a complex game, played only by wealthy. Lightsong had never bothered to learn the rules. He found it was more amusing to play when he had no idea how he was doing, or what he was doing. I bet I could throw it further. Oh, you wish, Afro. It was his next throw. Oh, it was his throw next. He stood up, selecting one of the wooden spheres from the rack because it matched the color of his drink. He tossed the orange sphere up and down. Then, not paying attention to where he was throwing, he tossed it out into the field. The sphere flew much farther than it probably should have. He had the strength of a perfect body. That was part of the reason the field was so vast. It had to be built to the scale of the gods, and so when they played, they required elevated perspective of a balcony to view the game. Terrachin was supposed to be one of the most difficult games in the world. It required strength to throw the spheres correctly, keen wit to understand where to place them, coordination to do so with necessary precision, and a great understanding of strategy to pick the proper sphere and dominate the game field. 413 points, a servant announced, after being fed the number by scribes working below. Another magnificent throw, Truthcrawl said, perking up in his wooden lounging chair. How do you do it? I'd never have thought to use reversal sphere for that throw. Is that what the orange ones are called? Lightsong thought, returning to his seat. You just have to understand the playing field, he said. He's so funny. And learn to get inside the mind of the sphere. Think like it does. Reason as in might. Reason like a sphere? Life Blesser said, standing up. He wore flowing robes of his colors, blue and silver. He selected a green sphere off the rack and then stared at it. What type of reasoning does a wooden sphere do? He's a fraud? I know, it's so funny. He doesn't even understand the game. He said he didn't learn it and he's like telling them advice. It's literally just pure luck. The circular type, I should think, Lightsong said, lightly. And by coincidence, it is my favorite type as well. Perhaps that is why I'm so good at this game. Life Blesser frowned, opening his mouth to reply. He finally shut it, looking confused by Lightsong's comment. Becoming a god did not, unfortunately, increase one's mental capacity. Along with one of the physical attributes Lightsong didn't mind for him, the real sport of the game, Terrachin never involved where the spears landed. Spheres, not spears, sorry. Oh, he's stupid. Yes, Lightsong said, sipping his drink. I'm remarkably like a mosquito in that regard. Truth call isn't it your throw? Actually, it's yours again, Weatherlove said. You achieved the crown pairing during your last toss, remember? Ah, yes, how could I forget, Lightsong said. Rising, he took another sphere, tossed it over his shoulder out onto the green, then sat down. 507 points, the priest announced. Now you're just showing off, Truth Call said. Lightsong said nothing. In his opinion, it revealed an inherent flaw in this game was that the one who knew the least about it tended to do the best. He doubted, however, that the others would take it that way. All three were very dedicated to their sport, and they played it every week. There was blessed little else for them to do with their time. Lightsong suspected that they kept inviting him only because they wanted to prove, at last, that they could defeat him. If he'd fathomed the rules, he'd have tried to lose on purpose to keep them from insisting that he come play. Still, he liked the way his victories annoyed them. Though, of course, they never showed him anything other than perfect decorum. Either way, under the circumstances, he suspected that he couldn't lose even if he wanted to. It was rather difficult to throw a game where you had no idea what you were doing to win in the first place. I'd be sick to my stomach if I kept losing against a dude who doesn't know the rules and kept aura farming me. I know, right? It would be crazy. I wish I was that talented that I could just do that. Truth Call finally stepped up to throw. He always wore clothing of martial style. The colors maroon and white were very handsome on him. Lightsong suspected that he'd always been jealous that instead of being given lifeless commands as his duty in court, he'd been given vote over issues of trade with other kingdoms. I hear that you spoke with the queen a few days back, Lightsong, Truthquall said as he threw. Yes, indeed, Lightsong said, sipping his drink. She was extraordinarily pleasant, I must say. Weatherlove gave a quiet laugh, obviously thinking that the last comment was sarcasm, which was a little annoying since Lightsong had meant it sincerely. The entire court is abuzz, Truthcall said, turning and flipping back at his cape, then leaning against the balcony railing as he waited for the points from his throw to be tabulated. The Idrians betrayed the treaty, one could say. The wrong princess, Weatherlove agreed. It gives us an opening. Yes, Truthcall said amusingly. But an opening for what? To attack? Lifeblesser said in his usual dense way. The other two regarded him wincingly. There is so much more to be gained than that, Lifeblesser. Yes, Weatherlove said idly, spinning the last bit of wine in his cup. My plans are already in motion, of course. And what plans would those be? Divine Brother, Truthcall said. Weatherlove smiled. I wouldn't want to spoil the surprise now, would I? That depends, Truthcall said evenly. Will it keep me from demanding that the Idrians give us more access to the passes? I'm willing to bet that some pressures could be placed on the new queen to gain her favor for such proposal. She's said to be rather naive. Lightsong felt a slight nausea as they spoke. He knew how they plotted, always scheming. They played their game with fears, but just as much of their reason for seeing one another at these events was to posture and make deals. Her ignorance must be an act, Life Blesser said in a rare moment of thoughtfulness. They wouldn't have sent her if she was really that inexperienced. She's Idrian, Truth Call said dismissively. Their most important city has fewer people than a small Tillier neighborhood. They barely understand the concept of politics. I warrant they are more used to talking to sheep than humans. Weatherlove nodded. Even if she's well trained by their standards, she'll be easy to manipulate here. The real trick is going to be to make certain that others don't get to her first. Lightsong, what's your impression? Will she be quick to do as all the gods tell her? I wouldn't really know, he said, waving for more juice. As you know, I'm not interested in political games. Weatherlove and Truthcall shared a smirking look. Like most in the court, they considered Lightsong hopeless when it came to practical matters. By their definition, practical meant taking advantage of others. Lightsong, Life Blesser said with tactlessly honest voice, you really need to take more interest in politics. It can be very diverting. Why, if you only knew the secrets to which I'm privy. My dear Life Blesser, Lightsong said, please trust me when I say I have no desire to know any secrets which involve you and a privy. Life Blesser frowned, obviously trying to work through that one. The other two began to discuss the queen again, and as the priest reported the score from one last throw, hi, we don't do that here. Welcome in. The other two began to discuss the queen again, as the priest reported the score from the last throw. Oddly, Lightsong found himself increasingly troubled, as Life Blesser stood up to take his next toss. Lightsong found himself rising as well. My divine brothers, he said, I suddenly feel quite weary. Perhaps it was something I ingested. You scared the crap out of me reading We Don't Do That Here out loud? I thought someone came in and doing something crazy. No! I was reading a name. Not something I served, I hope, Truthcall said. It was his palace. Food? No, Lightsong said. The other things you're serving today, perhaps. Ruby, you said I literally started checking all of the chats? Oh my gosh. Oh my god! Hi, Tulpip! Welcome in! Thank you so much for the raid! How are you, Tulpip? I hope you had an amazing stream. What were you guys up to? Let me see. That scared me, the raid. Let's see. Oh, you were doing Minecraft. Flowers for you. Flowers for you. Thank you for the flowers. We have acorns for you guys. Welcome in, everyone. How was Minecraft? What were you building? Savvy, hi. It's been a while, lovely. Hope you have been doing amazingly. Lovely to see you. It's nice to see you too. Ruby, can we please get another shout out for Tulpip? Flowers for acorns, fair trade. Yes, yes, we have sustenance. We have lots of acorns for you guys. And welcome in. What were you guys building? What were you doing in Minecraft? Hi, Mr. Screwy. For anyone that's new here, I'm Savvy Squirrel. I'm a variety streamer. I mainly do spooky content. And today we are reading Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. And then in 10 minutes, we're going to be watching some spooky films. So if that interests you, make sure you grab some snackies and get cozy. But if anyone needs to raid and run, I definitely understand. And I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Honestly, I end up running in circles in Minecraft trying to accomplish missions, so nothing built. No, I'm the same. Don't feel bad. I'm the same. I have trouble finding stuff in Minecraft, so I'm literally like walking around, getting lost, getting attacked, getting killed constantly, then trying to get my stuff back. So it's a mission. It's definitely a mission. Are you playing on like a community server or like a private one? Right? It could be so hard to build when not in creative mode, but I love the mission. Me too! I love it too. There was one time I was trying to build a giant acorn treehouse. Well, I did end up accomplishing this build. And I was trying to find brown leaves. And I've seen brown leaves before, so I was like, okay, I can find this. I could not find a biome that had brown leaves forever. Then I figured out that I have to dye the leaves. So I had to get cocoa. And then I had to get like leaves and like dye them. It was such a process. I'd love to community server in the future, but solo for now. Playing with a lot of fun cute mods for the first time. Cute animals, cooking biomes. Oh, that's so cute! I want to do one server that's like a cute server. Like a very cute, like cutesy type of server. I actually just applied to join what is it called? I think it's called an SMP, and it's a fantasy SMP. I can send it to you, Toolpip, if you want to join. It's for role-playing though, so you have to be into role-playing. Would you be interested? I'll send it. I can't promise because I didn't get in yet, so I can't promise that I will get in or you'll get in, but you can always apply, and then whoever gets in, I'll watch you if you get in, and we can play together on the team if we get in. I chose the fantasy team, but the other side, I don't know what it's called. It's like fantasy versus like modern day stuff. So it's really cool. Also, thank you for the follow, Mint. I appreciate you. Mint Acorn? I didn't even realize your name was Acorn. That's crazy. I didn't realize your name was Acorn. Hi, Just. Welcome in. OMG, good luck with fantasy SMP with roleplay. Let me in. But definitely send it my way. I'll go add you on Discord so I can send it to you. Hi, Mint Acorn is meant to be here. I know, that's so cute. I'm so shocked. I was like, what? Acorn? We're the Acorn Army. For anyone that's new here, if you follow, you're now a part of the Acorn Army. But since we only have 10 minutes, I'm gonna finish reading for the last 10 minutes and then we'll start spooky videos. So if that's your vibe, make sure you get cozy. In 10 minutes, we'll be watching some spooky short films on YouTube. There we go. Exciting. Yeah, thank you for being here, and thank you again, Toolpip. I'll send you the stuff through Discord. I'll go find you. But right now we are reading Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Of course, I love when I can be here. No, I appreciate you so much. I hope you know that. Thank you for being here. And I hope we both get in and we can be on a team together. Then we can go get lost and build together. Also, welcome, Just. Let me see where we were. Okay. Need a companion? Exactly. We gotta be partners in crime. You'll bring the flowers, I'll bring the acorns, and we build the treehouse together. Welcome in, Dojo. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Okay, so we're reading Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson for 10 more minutes, and then we start the spooky videos. Food? No, Lightsong said. The other things you're serving today, perhaps I must really be on my way. But you're in the lead, Truth Call said. If you leave now, we'll have to play again next week. Your threats roll off me like water, my divine brother, Lightsong said, nodding respectfully to each in turn. I bid you farewell. Until such as the time you drag me up here again to play this tragic game of yours. They laughed. He wasn't sure whether to be amused or insulted. They so often confused his jokes for serious statements, and the other way around. He collected his priest, Larimar included, from the room just inside the balcony, but didn't feel like speaking with any of them. He just made his way through the palace of deep reds and whites, still troubled. The men on the balcony were rank amateurs compared to real political masters, like Blushweaver. They were so blunt and obvious. RCAMPFIRESONG song. It'll help if you just sing along. Bum, bum, bum. But even the men who were blunt and obvious could be dangerous, particularly to a woman like the Queen, who obviously had little experience with such things. I've already determined that I can't help her, Lightsong thought. Hi, Jungle Book Warrior! Welcome in! Leaving the palace and entering the green outside, to the right, a complex network of ropes and square patterns marked the terrachin pitch. A spear bounced with a distant thud in the grass. Lightsong walked to the other direction, on the springy lawn, not even waiting for his priest to erect a canopy shade for him from the afternoon sun. He still worried that if he tried to help, he'd just make things worse. But then, there were these dreams. War and violence. Over and over he saw again. He saw the fall of Tillier itself, the destruction of his homeland. He couldn't continue to ignore the dreams, even if he didn't accept them as prophetic. Blushweaver thought that the war was important, or at least that it was important to prepare for. He trusted her more than any of their god and goddesses. But he also worried about how aggressive she was. She had come to him asking him to be a part of her plans, but has she done it? Perhaps because she knew he would be more temperate than she was. Was she intentionally balancing herself? He heard petitions, even though he did intend to ever give up his breath and die. He interpreted paintings, even though he didn't think he was seeing anything prophetic in them. Couldn't he help secure power in the court and to be prepared when he didn't believe that his visions meant anything? Particularly if those preparations helped to protect a young woman who undoubtedly would have no other allies? Larimar had told him to do his best. That sounded like an awful lot of work. Unfortunately, doing nothing was beginning to seem like even more work. Sometimes when you stepped into something foul, the only thing to do was stop walking and make an effort to clean it off. He sighed, shaking his head. I'm probably going to regret this, he muttered to himself. Then he went looking for Blushweaver. Also, hi, Tragic! Welcome in! Wait, Oh my goodness. Have you always had these cute little glasses? So we have outfits for the different themes. So on Sunday we read stories and then we watch movies. So when we read stories, I gotta put my reading glasses on. And I gotta have my book. I don't know if you can see my book with all the avatars. But I gotta have my little book. But hi. Thank you. I'm glad you like the glasses. Reading glasses and a book are cute. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, thank you for the follow, Just a Loser. Really, I appreciate you. Yes, I have to have my glasses for when I read, you know. I'm actually wearing glasses in real life too, so it matches now. The man was slight, almost skeletal, and each shellfish he slurped made Viviana cringe for 2 reasons. Wait, what the heck? This feels like it's not where I was. Oh yeah, okay, I guess it is. It just jumps to that section. That sounded like it didn't match, but hi DG, welcome in. We start the spooky movies in 5 minutes. The man was slight, almost skeletal, and each shellfish he slurped made Viviana cringe for 2 reasons. Not only did she have trouble believing that anyone would enjoy such a slimy and slug-like food, but the mussels were also of some rare and expensive variety. And she was paying. The afternoon restaurant crowd was large. Oh my god, I can't read because I got distracted. Sorry. The afternoon restaurant crowd was large. People usually ate out at midday. When it made more sense to buy food than return home for a meal. The entire concept of restaurants still seemed strange to her. Didn't these men have wives or servants to make them meals? Didn't they feel uncomfortable eating in such a public place? It was so impersonal. Dent and Tungfa sat on either side of her, and each, of course, they helped themselves to a plate of mussels as well. Viviana wasn't certain that she'd pointedly not asked, but she thought that shellfish were raw. The thin man across from her slurped down another one. He didn't seem to be enjoying himself much despite the expensive surroundings and free food. He had a sneer on his lips, and while he didn't appear nervous, she did notice that he kept an eye on the entrance. So, Dent said, setting another empty shell on the table, wiping his fingers on the tablecloth. A common practice in Tillier? Can you help us or not? The little man, he called himself Fob, shrugged. You tell a wild tale, mercenary. You know me, Fob. When I have lied to you, whenever you've been paid to do it, Fob said with a snort, I just have never been able to catch you. Tungfa chuckled, reaching for another mussel. It slipped free of its shell as he brought it to his lips. Viviana had to steel herself from gagging at the slimy plop it made when it hit the table. You don't disagree that... Oh! Hi, Fauna! How was your stream? Welcome in! How's your stream, Fauna? I hope you had a good stream. How's Spyro? I haven't played Spyro. Rated by elves? What do the elves come and offer? I have acorns. Welcome in, elves. Welcome to the Acorn Army. Spyro was fun. I've never played Spyro. Well, oh no, wait, no, I've played Spyro. I played one when I was a kid, but it was like a 2-player one. I played with my brother. I don't know what it was called, though, but it was like a really old system. I think it was like a PlayStation 2 or 3. One of the ones. It was like the flat PlayStation. I'd gladly take acorns. Thank you. And welcome in. Let me give you a follow. It's nice to meet you. And for anyone that's new here, I'm Savvy Squirrel. I'm a variety streamer. I mainly do spooky content. And we are about to actually start watching some spooky videos. So if you guys want to stick around, grab some snackies, get cozy. But if anyone needs to raid and run, I definitely understand. But yeah, since it's 58, I'm gonna take a small thing to step away for a second, turn the lights on, because I don't want to watch spooky videos in the dark. Oh, thank you. Oh, 3 Jaded Sage recommended the raid. Oh, thank you, 3. Oh, Jaded Sage, I hope you had a good day. Thank you for recommending the raid and thank you for coming in. I appreciate you both. It's nice to see you. But I hope you guys are excited. We are about to start watching some spooky short films. So I don't know if you like spooky stuff as much as me, but they're fun. Make sure you check your closet door too. Ruby! Bad Ruby. I'm ready to get spooked. Okay, let me turn off the YouTube and the TikTok stream real quick. Goodbye YouTube and goodbye TikTok. Thank you for being here. I have to turn them off because then I get in trouble with them. So let me make sure that they turn off completely. It'll be just a moment, guys. I just gotta make sure they're off. The YouTube and the TikTok.